Kol halal, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ruach HaKodesh. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, good reading. This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 10. In this, the children of Yahushai are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahushai, neither he that loveth not his brother. All right, let's get the word manifest.
Strong's G 5318. Phaneras. Phaneras.
Phaneros, to be plainly recognized or known. All right, let's get the word devil now.
Strong's G 1228. Diabolos. Diabolos.
Diabolos, prone to slander. Let's get the slave definition of slander. Defamation, the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. Slanderous, accusing falsely. All right. So going back to 1 John 3 and 10, in this the children of Yahushua are manifest, so made plainly, and the children of the devil, the false accuser. We know that the number one nation on this planet that is all about slander, false accusations, and defamation is the nation of Esau Edom, which is the biblical name of the so-called white man. But that spirit is applicable to 2/3 of our nation, you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, so-called Haitians, so-called West Indians, and you Israelite foreigners. Those that may look like the heathen nations, but have the spirit of an Israelite, the spirit going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the actual heathen nations, because as it is written, either you're with Yahushai or against them. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahushai, neither he that loveth not his brother. So let's get the will of Yahushai. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai, thy power, require of thee? But to fear the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai, thy power, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai, thy power, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And that lines up with Matthew chapter 22, verse 36, when you had, I'm not sure if it was a wicked scribe or wicked Pharisee, I'd have to double check, but they came up to Yahushua and try to pull some bullshit. But it was a learning experience because this is what Yahushua said. So this is Matthew chapter 22, verse 36. Master, so you already know how Jake roll, coming in like a serpent, like master, knowing fully well he's coming with some bullshit. But anyways, master, which is the great commandment in the law? Oh, he was a lawyer. Right, Khan, he was a lawyer. So Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai, thy power, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So going back to 1 John 3 and 10, in this the children of Yahushua are manifest, so made plainly, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahushua, neither he that loveth not his brother. So that lines up with the two commandments we just read, which is essentially everything you need. Because if your mind is focused on serving Yahweh Yahushua as well as being brotherly, You're not going to want to hurt your brother in any way, shape, or form. You're not going to want to slander. You're not going to, in other words, you're going to treat them like as if they were Yahweh Shai. Only the elect is capable of doing that. So we're going to go to Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another. Let's get Romans 12 and 10. The word is Philadelphia.
Strong's G 5360. Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Well, Philadelphia. Love of brothers or sisters, brotherly love. Cherish for each other as brethren. So really, it just goes back to the two commandments that we just read in Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 to 40. This is how essential brotherly love is. So let's get Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, all right, in your lob, in your mind, right? Because you know how it is. You've been on both sides where in the inward, you don't fuck with someone, but on the outside, you're, I guess, supplanting is the word. Right, that's when we have to operate in the world, right? You work with people you don't like, but you can't say, "Yo, I don't fuck with you," otherwise your ass is fired or whatever, right? You gotta be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. But when dealing with brethren, in fact, let's get brethren. We're gonna hold that, and we're gonna get who our brethren is. So this is once again Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. This is Mark 3 and 33. And he answered them, saying, Who is my mother or my brethren? And he looked round about on them which sat about him, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of Yahweh Shai power, this same is my brother and my sister and mother. And all those are just titles for family. But you got to do the will of Yahweh Shai power, not the will of Buddha, not the will of Allah, because they're all essentially Satan. We just read in 1 John 3 and 10. It's essentially under the umbrella of Diabolos. But we also read in 1 John 3 and 10, it's going to be made plainly those that do the will of Yahweh Shai. Those are our brethren, our true brethren, our yoke brothers. So now we're going to go back to Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, and we establish what a true brother is. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, right? Because you're supposed to love your neighbor like you love yourself. You wouldn't want your brother to be in a fucked up situation. In fact, those that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak. So, continue on to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 9. But as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you. For ye yourselves are taught of Yahweh Shai to love one another. There's that love. There's that. Let's get love in 1 Thessalonians 4 and 9.
Strong's G 25. Agapao. Agapao.
Agapao, to welcome, to be fond of, to love dearly, to be well pleased. Khan, I mean, we know that love is truly actually just following the commandments. If you love me, then follow my commands. If you love Yahweh Shai, then feed my sheep. But here is a better understanding of love, because it's actually a good thing. It's a great thing when you want to see your brothers and sisters rise spiritually. And of course, the other ones, right? Because if you rise spiritually, physically will follow. But you want to see your brother and sister become as close to being as mature in this truth as possible. You don't want to false slander them. You don't want to tear them down. You want to help build them up. So we're going to go to Hebrews 13:1. Let brotherly love continue. And we read brotherly love is essentially Philadelphia. I know I mispronounced it, but you know what? Let's get it actually. Hebrews 13:1. There we go.
Strong's G 5360. Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Love of brothers or sisters, brotherly love. Doing the will of Yahweh Shem Shai in truth and sincerity. Now we're going to end it off with Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 25 verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before Yahweh Shem Shai and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together. Unity. Having the same mind that is, let this mind be in you that is in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. The only way to truly show brotherly love is if Yahweh Shem Shai is dealing with that individual. Because y'all, I'm sure y'all have seen it. Have you ever lit a candle with another candle? Right? As small as the candle flame is, you just apply it to another candle and you can apply more and more and more. That's essentially brotherly love in a metaphorical way of explaining it. You help. That's essentially it. You help. You do what you can, what your lot allows, what Yahweh Shem Shai allows you to help build up the church. And we know that the church is the elect. It's the 1/3 as well as the 144,000. So with that, I hope you all were edified. Shalom.